My parents didn't miss my Princeton graduation. They chose my brother's 12th birthday party. The text arrived at 7:14 a.m., blue glow on my dorm wall. Can't make it today. Tyler's party is at noon. We already rented the bounce house. You understand, right? No congratulations, no apology. 4 years at Princeton dismissed for inflatable plastic. By 11 a.m., I placed my high school photo on their empty seats, Nassau Hall, row 3, seats 8 and 9. Black folding chairs under June sun. Around me, 1,287 families erupted in cheers. In front of me, two shadows where mine should have been standing. I didn't post anything. My roommate's father did, those empty seats, that photo, my face when they called my name. 2.3 million views by evening. Dad's law firm saw it. Mom's entire PTA. Then my phone started ringing, but not from them. The email arrived at 6:23 a.m. on a Thursday that changed everything. I was 17, sitting cross-legged on my bedroom floor with my laptop balanced on my knees. My hands shook as I clicked the link. Congratulations, Eliza, the words blurred. Princeton University. Full acceptance. Merit scholarship, $42,000. I screamed. My mother appeared in the doorway, hair wrapped in a towel, mascara wand in hand. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. Mom, I got in, Princeton, I actually got in. She blinked at me, once, twice. Oh, that's wonderful, honey. That's wonderful, honey, 4 words, flat, distracted. Did you hear me? Princeton. The scholarship is $42,000. That's great, Eliza, really. She glanced at her phone. I need to finish getting ready. Tyler has an orthodontist appointment at 8:30. She disappeared down the hallway. I sat there, staring at the acceptance letter on my screen, waiting for the moment to feel real. It didn't. Downstairs, I heard my father's voice. Susan, have you seen my briefcase? I wanted to run down and tell him. I wanted him to pick me up and spin me around like he used to when I was small, like he still did with Tyler. But I knew better. I'd learned better over 18 years. When I was 8 years old, my mother sat beside me on my bed and brushed my hair. You're going to do amazing things, Eliza, she whispered. Your dad and I will be there for every single one, every award ceremony, every graduation, every moment that matters. I believed her. I was 8, I didn't know any better. By the time I was 10, I'd already learned the pattern. Tyler was born when I was 8, and suddenly every promise came with an asterisk. Every commitment had an expiration date. My 5th grade science fair. Mom stayed home because Tyler had a fever of 99 degrees. My middle school honor roll ceremony. Dad left early because Tyler's t-ball game went into extra innings. My high school academic decathlon championship. They didn't come at all. Tyler had a soccer tournament 3 hours away. You understand, right? That phrase became the soundtrack of my childhood. I closed my laptop and walked downstairs. My father sat at the kitchen table, scrolling through his phone. My mother poured coffee into a travel mug. Tyler sat in front of a bowl of cereal, watching something on an iPad with his mouth hanging open. I got into Princeton, I said again, louder this time. Dad looked up. Hey, that's fantastic, sweetheart. Congratulations. He smiled. It almost reached his eyes. The scholarship is $42,000 a year. That's huge, Dad. That's really impressive, Eliza. You worked hard for this. He glanced at his watch. I've got a meeting at 9, but we'll celebrate this weekend, okay? Okay. Mom grabbed her purse. Tyler, come on, we're going to be late. Tyler slid off his chair without looking at me. Wait, I said, did you hear? I got into Princeton. He glanced up from his iPad. Cool. And then they were gone. The front door closed. The garage door rumbled. 3 voices faded into the morning. I stood alone in the kitchen, holding an acceptance letter no one had asked to see. That night, I called my best friend, Priya. She screamed so loud I had to pull the phone away from my ear. Eliza, oh my God, Princeton, do you know how incredible this is? I know. Did your parents lose their minds? Are they throwing a party? I didn't answer right away. Eliza. They were happy, they're just busy. Priya went quiet. She'd known me since freshman year. She knew what busy meant in my house. I'm proud of you, she said softly. You did this, not them, you. I nodded, even though she couldn't see me. Thanks, Priya. The week after I got my acceptance letter, Tyler made the travel soccer team, not the local league, the elite program, $8,000 a year, private coaching, weekend tournaments in 4 different states. My parents threw him a party, 20 people, a cake shaped like a soccer ball, a banner that said future champion. I stood in the corner, holding a plastic cup of lemonade, watching my father flee Tyler's hair. "We're so proud of you, buddy. This is going to open so many doors." No one mentioned Princeton. No one asked to see my acceptance letter. That night, lying in bed, I stared at the ceiling and made a promise to myself. I would go to Princeton. I would work harder than anyone else. I would prove that I didn't need their validation. But deep down, in the part of myself I tried not to look at too closely, I still wanted them to care. I still wanted them to show up. My family had a hierarchy. I just didn't realize I was at the bottom until it was too late. Richard Chen, my father, corporate lawyer at a mid-sized firm in Princeton, New Jersey. Salary, $180,000 a year. Workaholic. Loved golf. Loved Tyler more. Susan Chen, my mother, part-time administrative assistant at a dental office. Salary, $35,000 a year. PTA president. Volunteered at Tyler's school every Thursday. Never once visited me at Princeton. Tyler Chen, my brother, 10 years younger. The surprise baby who became the center of the universe. And then there was me, Eliza Margaret Chen, the overachiever who was never enough. The pattern started small. When I was 12, I won the regional spelling bee. My parents took me to Applebee's. Tyler came along, complained the whole time, and ordered a $50 steak. They let him. When Tyler was 6, he scored his first soccer goal. My parents bought him custom cleats and framed the participation ribbon. When I was 15, I made varsity debate captain. Mom said, "That's nice, honey," and went back to planning Tyler's 8th birthday party. Budget, $4,000, bounce house, magician, 50 guests. My 16th birthday, Olive Garden with my 2 friends, gift card for $30. By the time I graduated high school, I'd learned not to expect much. My high school graduation party was supposed to be at our house. Mom planned it for 3 weeks. Guest list of 40, catered sandwiches, a sheet cake. The morning of the party, Tyler got a stomach bug. Mom canceled everything. "He's really sick, Eliza. You understand, right?" I understood. I always understood. When I left for Princeton, they didn't help me move in. Tyler had his first travel soccer game that weekend, 3 hours away in Pennsylvania. "We'll visit soon," Dad promised. They never did. Princeton was the hardest 4 years of my life, and I survived them alone. Freshman year, I worked in the campus library 15 hours a week, shelving books, helping grad students with citations, earning $9 an hour while my roommate got monthly allowances from her parents. Sophomore year, I added a second job, campus tour guide, 20 hours a week between both positions. My GPA dropped to 3.6. I cried in the bathroom of Firestone Library for an hour before pulling myself together. Junior year, I took out my first student loan, $23,000. I signed the papers in the financial aid office and felt like I was signing my life away. I called my parents to tell them. "That's what loans are for," Dad said. "You'll pay them off eventually." Tyler's elite soccer program cost $8,000 that year. They paid it in full. Senior year, I stopped calling home unless they called first. They didn't call. But I kept going. I had to. Dean's List every semester. Phi Beta Kappa by junior year. Undergraduate research published in the Journal of Economic Perspectives. Cum laude by graduation. I collected achievements like they were armor. I thought if I succeeded hard enough, loud enough, visibly enough, they'd finally notice. In February of my senior year, I sent the graduation invitation. Thick cream cardstock, embossed orange Princeton tiger. Ceremony date, May 15th. Location, Nassau Hall. Time, 10 a.m. I mailed it in an orange envelope. 3 weeks later, Mom texted me. "Got the invitation. Looks fancy. We'll try to make it. Depends on Tyler's schedule." Depends on Tyler's schedule. I stared at that text for 20 minutes. Tyler was 12 years old. I was about to graduate from Princeton University, and his schedule mattered more than mine. I didn't respond. 2 months passed, I sent a reminder email, no response. I sent another text in April. Graduation is May 15th, 10 a.m., can you confirm you're coming? Mom replied 4 days later. We're checking the calendar, Tyler might have a tournament that weekend. Might have a tournament. Not even a definite conflict, just the possibility of one. That's when I knew. They weren't coming. I didn't tell Priya, I didn't tell anyone, I just kept preparing. Ordered my cap and gown, bought a white dress, made a restaurant reservation for after the ceremony. Table for one. The week before graduation, I called home one last time. Dad answered, "Hey sweetheart, what's up?" "Just confirming you're coming to graduation. It's this Saturday." "Right about that," he cleared his throat. "Tyler's got a big game that day, travel tournament. We've already paid the registration fee. It's my college graduation." "I know, Eliza, and we're really proud of you, but this tournament is a huge deal for Tyler. Scouts are going to be there. He's 12. It's an investment in his future." An investment? I graduated with $63,000 in student loans. Tyler's soccer career had cost them over $30,000. I hung up without saying goodbye. The morning of my graduation, I woke up at 6 a.m. and allowed myself to hope. Maybe they'd surprise me, maybe they'd lied about the tournament, maybe, just this once, I would matter more. I showered, straightened my hair, put on the white dress I'd bought with tip money from the campus tour job. It cost $42. I'd waited for it to go on sale. At 6:47 a.m., I checked my phone. No messages. I made coffee in the dorm kitchenette. My hands didn't shake, I was too numb for shaking. Priya knocked on my door at 7, ready for the best day of your life. I tried to smile, ready as I'll ever be. We walked to Nassau Hall together. The morning sun turned the orange brick gold. Families crowded the lawn, taking photos. Mothers cried. Fathers adjusted their ties. Siblings carried bouquets of flowers. I scanned every face. None of them were mine. At 7:14 a.m., my phone buzzed. "Mom, can't make it today. Tyler's party is at noon. We already rented the bounce house. You understand, right?" I read it 3 times. Tyler's party. Not tournament, party. His birthday wasn't even until next week. But they'd rented a bounce house. Priya looked over my shoulder. "Eliza." "It's fine." "It's not fine." "It's done." I shoved my phone in my bag. "Let's just go." The ceremony was held outside, in front of Nassau Hall. 1,287 graduates, twice as many family members. I found my assigned seat in the 3rd row. Right next to me, 2 empty chairs, seats 8 and 9, reserved for Richard and Susan Chen. I stared at those chairs for a long time. Then I pulled out my wallet and found my high school senior photo, 4 years old. I was 17 in that picture. Smiling, hopeful, stupid. I placed the photo on my mother's empty chair. A family behind me whispered. I didn't turn around. At 9:30 a.m., Priya's parents found me. Her mother took one look at the empty seats and burst into tears. "Oh, sweetheart, come sit with us." "I can't," assign seating. Her father didn't ask permission, he just moved their chairs closer. "We're your family today." I nodded, I couldn't speak. The ceremony started at 10. President Eisgruber spoke about resilience and legacy, about the value of education, about the families who sacrificed to get us here. I stared at the empty chairs. Around me, 1,287 families erupted in applause every time a name was called. Mothers stood, fathers cheered, siblings screamed. When they called my name, Eliza Margaret Chen, cum laude, economics, Priya's parents stood and clapped so loud the people in front of us turned around. I walked across the stage. I shook President Eisgruber's hand. I accepted my diploma. I looked out at the sea of faces. Rows and rows of families. And 2 empty chairs with my high school photo propped against the metal. I didn't cry, not then. I walked back to my seat, sat down, and folded my hands in my lap. The rest of the ceremony passed in silence. Afterward, everyone scattered to take photos. Families swarmed the lawn. I stood alone near the side of Nassau Hall, holding my diploma. Priya's mother approached with her camera. "Let's get some pictures, honey." We took 12 photos. Her parents flanked me on both sides. In every single one, I smiled. I was very good at smiling. At noon, Priya's family took me to lunch, a small Italian restaurant off campus. They ordered champagne, made toasts, told me how proud they were. I excused myself to the bathroom and locked the door. That's when I cried. Not because they didn't come, I'd expected that, but because they'd chosen a bounce house over me. A birthday party for a 12-year-old over my Princeton graduation. When I came back to the table, I checked my phone. Still no messages from my parents. But I had 17 notifications from Instagram. Someone had posted a photo of the ceremony. I clicked on it. It was me walking across the stage, diploma in hand, smiling. And in the corner of the frame, 2 empty chairs, my high school photo visible on one of them. The caption, "Not every graduate has a cheering section. This girl walked alone today. Princeton class of 2025. It had been shared 400 times. By evening, it had 2.3 million views. By midnight, every single person my mother had ever invited to a PTA meeting had seen it. My phone started ringing. Aunts, uncles, cousins, friends from high school. Everyone except my parents. I ignored all of it. But at 11:47 p.m., I got a text from my father's law firm partner's wife. "Eliza, I saw the photo. I'm so sorry. If you need anything, please call." I read at that message for a long time. Then I noticed something strange. My father's law firm partner, she'd seen the photo, which meant people at Dad's office were talking about it. I opened Instagram again, scrolled through the comments. One stood out. "Isn't that Richard Chen's daughter, the lawyer at Morrison and Fitch?" My stomach dropped. This wasn't just about me anymore. This was about to become their problem. 2 days after graduation, I sat alone in my dorm room, surrounded by boxes. Most students had already left. The hallways were silent. Outside my window, parents loaded minivans with mini fridges and plastic storage bins. Families laughed, hugged, took final photos in front of Nassau Hall. I had nowhere to be. No one was coming to help me move out. I pulled out my laptop and opened my email. 47 unread messages, most of them congratulations from professors and classmates, 3 from distant relatives who'd seen the viral photo. Nothing from my parents. I scrolled down and found an email from the financial aid office. Subject line, "Final financial aid summary class of 2025. I almost deleted it. But something made me click. The document loaded, page after page of numbers, grants, scholarships, loans. I'd seen this summary before, freshman year, sophomore year, every year actually. But this time, something caught my eye. Expected family contribution, $28,000 per year. I stared at that number. $28,000 per year for 4 years. That was how much the federal government determined my parents could afford to contribute to my education. Based on their income, their assets, their tax returns. I scrolled down further. Parent plus loan status, declined. Declined. My parents had been offered federal loans to help pay for my education. Low interest, flexible repayment. They declined them. I sat back in my chair. My father made $180,000 a year. My mother made $35,000. Combined, $215,000. The government calculated they could afford $28,000 per year for my education. They decontributed $0. I opened a new tab and searched for Tyler's soccer program, Elite Athletic Academy. Registration fees, $8,000 per year. Private coaching, $4,000. Tournament travel, estimated $6,000 annually. $18,000 per year for soccer. My hands started shaking. I pulled up my student loan account, clicked through to the full balance. $63,000. $63,000 in loans because my parents declined to help. But they had $18,000 a year for Tyler's soccer. I closed my laptop. Then I opened it again. Something else was bothering me, something I couldn't quite name. When I was 14, my grandmother died, my father's mother. In her will, she left money for her grandchildren's education. I remembered the conversation. Dad sitting at the kitchen table, holding a letter from the estate lawyer. Your grandmother left education funds for you and Tyler. It'll be held in trust until you need it. I was 14, Tyler was 6. I never heard about that money again. I opened my browser and typed, how to find trust fund accounts. 3 hours later, I had a name, Princeton Community Bank, the same bank my parents used. I called the next morning. Hi, I'm trying to locate a trust account that may have been set up in my name, Eliza Margaret Chen. The woman on the phone typed something, date of birth. I gave it to her. More typing, a long pause. I show an account that was opened when you were 14. Joint account with your parents as trustees. My heart stopped. Is there still money in it? I can't give you specific balance information over the phone, but I can tell you the account is still active. You'd need to come in with identification to access details. Can you tell me if there's been recent activity? Another pause. The last transaction was 4 months ago. 4 months ago. January. Middle of my senior year. Thank you, I whispered. I hung up and stared at the wall. There was money my grandmother left specifically for my education. And my parents had access to it. I grabbed my keys and my ID. The bank was 6 blocks away. I needed to see that account statement. I needed to know what they'd done. The woman at the bank had kind eyes and a name tag that read Jennifer. I need to see my account history, I said, sliding my ID across the counter. The trust account opened when I was 14. Jennifer typed on her keyboard, frowned, typed some more. This account shows your parents as primary trustees. You're listed as beneficiary, but you weren't given access until age 21. She looked up, which was last month. So I can see the statements now. Yes, but I should warn you, she hesitated. The current balance is significantly lower than the original deposit. My stomach dropped. How much lower? She turned the SC. Rien toward me. Original deposit, 14 years ago, $47,000. Current balance, $4,127.89. I stopped breathing. Can I see the transaction history? Jennifer printed 12 pages. I found a chair in the lobby and started reading. The account sat untouched for years, earning interest, growing slowly. Then, 18 months ago, the withdrawals started. January 2 years ago, $8,400. Memo, Elite Athletic Academy. February, $3,200. Memo, Nike soccer equipment. April, $12,800. Memo, Barcelona soccer training camp. June, $2,100. Memo, Tournament travel Philadelphia. August, memo, Dr. Morrison Orthodontics. September, $4,800. Memo, soccer showcase registration. On and on and on. $42,872. Gone. Every single withdrawal had a memo, and every single one was for Tyler. My hands were shaking so hard, I could barely hold the papers. I pulled out my phone and opened Instagram, scrolled back 18 months to Tyler's account. There it was. A photo of him in Barcelona, standing in front of a soccer stadium. Caption, 3 weeks of training with the best coaches in Europe. Dream come true. Thanks mom and dad. 237 likes. I kept scrolling. Tyler in new Nike cleats. Tyler at a tournament in Philadelphia. Tyler smiling with his braces off. Every expense, every withdrawal, documented on social media. Paid for with my inheritance. I called Priya. She answered on the first ring. Eliza, are you okay? You sound. They stole from me. Silence. What? My grandmother left me $47,000 when I died. For college, my parents were trustees. My voice cracked. They spent $42,000 of it on Tyler. Oh my God. Soccer camp in Barcelona, $12,000, while I was working 25 hours a week and eating ramen for dinner. Eliza. New orthodontics, $6,000. I still have my wisdom teeth because I couldn't afford the extraction. I was crying now, hard, ugly sobs. Where are you? Priya asked. The bank. Stay there, I'm coming. She arrived 20 minutes later and found me sitting on the curb outside, holding the statements. She didn't say anything. She just sat down next to me and put her arm around my shoulders. That money was supposed to pay for Princeton, I whispered. My grandmother died believing it would take care of my education. I know. I have $63,000 in loans, Priya. $63,000, and they had $47,000 just sitting there. They stole from you. They're my parents. That doesn't make it okay. Eliza, this is theft, actual theft. I looked down at the statements, at the dates, the amounts, the memos. Elite Athletic Academy. Barcelona Soccer Training Camp. Tournament travel. For 18 months, while I was drowning in work-study shifts and loan applications, they were spending my inheritance on my 12-year-old brother's hobby. What do? I asked. Priya took the statements from my hands and looked through them. First, we document everything, every withdrawal, every expense, every Instagram post. Then what? She looked at me, her eyes were hard. Then you talk to a lawyer. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in my dorm room bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying every conversation from the past 2 years. Sophomore year, fall semester, I called home to tell them I needed to take out my first student loan. That's what loans are for, Dad had said. Everyone has student loans, Eliza, it's normal. $23,000. I'd cried in the financial aid office before signing the papers. That was October. According to the bank statements, they'd withdrawn $8,000 from my trust account that same month. For Tyler's elite soccer registration. Junior year, spring semester, I called home because I couldn't afford groceries for the last week before my paycheck. Can't you use your meal plan? Mom had asked. It ran out. I didn't buy enough at the beginning of the semester. Well, we're tight this month, honey. Tyler's tournament in Philadelphia is expensive. I'd gone to the campus food pantry, taken home canned soup and stale bread. According to the bank statements, they'd spent $2,000 on that Philadelphia tournament. Using my money. Senior year, fall semester. I worked 30 hours a week between 2 jobs, my grades slipped. I got my first B in 4 years. I called home, exhausted, breaking down. Maybe you're taking on too much, Dad said. Have you thought about dropping a class? I can't drop classes. I need to graduate on time. I can't afford another semester. Well, we all have to make sacrifices, Eliza. According to the bank statements, they'd spent $12,000 that summer sending Tyler to Barcelona. I got out of bed and opened my laptop. I needed to see the full picture. I made a spreadsheet, 2 columns. Column 1, my expenses, what I paid for, what I borrowed, what I sacrific. Ed. Column 2, Tyler's expenses, what they paid for, what they chose, what they prioritized. The numbers were devastating. Freshman year. My tuition after scholarship, $28,000 paid via loans. My work-study earnings, $4,500. My part-time job earnings, $3,200. Tyler's soccer expenses, $18,000. Sophomore year. My additional loans, $23,000. My combined work earnings, $8,100. My declined request for help with textbooks, $800. Tyler's soccer expenses, $21,000, including Barcelona camp. Junior year. My third job added, campus tour, $12,000 total earnings. My mental health, declining. My GPA, dropped to 3.6. Tyler's soccer expenses, $19,000. Senior year. My total debt, $63,000. My graduation gift from them, $0. Their attendance at my graduation, $0. Tyler's birthday party, the day of my graduation, $3,000. Total spent on Tyler's soccer over 4 years, $61,000. Total contributed to my Princeton education, $0. I stared at the numbers until they blurred. $61,000 on soccer. $0 on my degree. But it was worse than that. They hadn't just declined to help me. They'd actively stolen from the money my grandmother left for me. I clicked over to Tyler's Instagram again, scrolled through 4 years of posts. Him in Barcelona, him at showcases, him with new gear, him smiling at tournaments. Every photo was proof. Every caption was evidence. I started taking screenshots, one by one, dating each one. Then I cross-referenced them with the bank statements. Barcelona post, June 14th, 2 years ago. Bank withdrawal, June 10th, 2 years ago, $12,800. Memo, Barcelona soccer training camp. Perfect match. Philadelphia tournament post, September 2nd, 2 years ago. Bank withdrawal, August 28th, 2 years ago, $2,100. Memo, tournament travel Philadelphia. Perfect match. I had 18 months of proof. $42,000 of theft. Documented, time-stamped, undeniable. At 2 a.m., I sent everything to Priya. She responded immediately, holy shit. Then, this is airtight, they can't deny this. Then, are you going to confront them? I stared at that message for a long time. Was I? Could I? I thought about the empty chairs at my graduation, the text message about the bounce house, 4 years of silence and dismissal. I thought about my grandmother, how she'd hugged me before she died and whispered, "This will help you go to college, sweetheart. I want you to have every opportunity." She died believing that money would help me. Instead, it paid for Tyler's soccer camps. I typed my response to Priya. No, I'm not confronting them. Then what are you going to do? I looked at the spreadsheet, the bank statements, the screenshots. I'm going to talk to a lawyer. That evening, I drove to Priya's apartment with the evidence binder in my passenger seat. She opened the door before I could knock. I've been waiting for you, come in. Her living room smelled like chai and vanilla candles. I sat on her couch and put the binder on the coffee table between us. This is everything, I said. Bank statements, Instagram screenshots, a timeline of every withdrawal matched to every expense. Priya opened the binder, started reading. I watched her face change. First confusion, then shock, then anger. Eliza, she looked up at me, this is $42,000. I know. They stole $42,000 from you. I know. While you were working yourself to death and taking out loans. Her voice rose. While you were eating from the food pantry and skipping meals. I nodded, I couldn't speak. Priya flipped through more pages. They sent Tyler to Barcelona for $12,000. Yes. You asked them for help with groceries that semester. They said no. I remember. She slammed the binder shut. This isn't just favoritism, Eliza. This is financial abuse. Those 2 words hung in the air. Financial abuse. My parents wouldn't. Your parents did. Priya's eyes were blazing. Look at this evidence. Look at these numbers. This is theft. It doesn't matter that they're your parents. I felt tears building. What do I do? You document everything, you get a lawyer, and you make them pay it back. They'll never agree to that. Then you sue them. I stared at her, sue my own parents. Eliza, they stole your inheritance. They lied to you for 18 months. They missed your graduation for a birthday party. She leaned forward. They chose a bounce house over your Princeton ceremony. What part of that sounds like people who deserve your protection? They're still my family. No, Priya's voice was firm. Family doesn't do this. Family shows up. Family supports you. Family doesn't steal your future to pay for someone else's hobbies. I started crying then, real, ugly sobs. Priya moved next to me and wrapped her arms around me. You're not overreacting, she whispered. You're not being dramatic, this is serious, and you deserve justice. We sat like that for a long time. Finally, I pulled back in. Dee wiped my eyes. I don't know how to find a lawyer. My mom knows someone, family law attorney in Princeton. She helped my cousin with a divorce. This isn't a divorce. No, it's worse. Priya grabbed her phone. I'm texting her now. We're getting you a consultation. Priya. No arguments. This is happening. she typed rapidly. You're going to walk into that office with this binder, and you're going to tell them everything. What if they say I don't have a case? Then we'll find another lawyer. But Eliza, she looked at me, you have bank statements, you have proof, you have 18 months of documented theft. Any lawyer worth their degree will take this seriously. Her phone buzzed. My mom says Patricia Chen can see you Friday morning, 10 a.m. Friday is 3 days away. Good, that gives us time to organize everything. Priya opened the binder again. We need to make this airtight. Timeline, evidence, every withdrawal cross-referenced with every Instagram post. I already did that. Then we'll do it again, better. She grabbed a notebook. Walk me through it, start from the beginning. We stayed up until midnight, building my case. Patricia Chen's office was on Nassau Street, 3 blocks from campus. I arrived 15 minutes early, clutching my evidence binder like a lifeline. The receptionist smiled at me. Eliza, Ms. Chen is ready for you. Patricia Chen was 50-something, with silver-streaked hair and sharp eyes behind tortoiseshell glasses. Her office was all mahogany and leather-bound law books. Priya's mother spoke very highly of you, she said, shaking my hand. Please sit. I sat, placed the binder on her desk. I think my parents stole from me. I don't know if that's the right word. But they took money that was supposed to be mine, and they spent it on my brother. Tell me everything. I did. I told her about my grandmother's inheritance, the trust account, the $47,000. I told her about Princeton, the loans, the work-study jobs, the struggles. I told her about the withdrawals, 18 months, $42,000. Tyler's soccer, Barcelona, tournaments, equipment. Patricia took notes, asked questions, wrote down dates and amounts. When I finished, she sat back in her chair. This is called conversion of funds, she said. Your parents were trustees of an account designated for your education. They had a fiduciary duty to use that money for its intended purpose. Fiduciary duty. A legal obligation to act in your best interest. They violated that duty when they used your inheritance for your brother's expenses. She opened the binder, reviewed the bank statements. This is also unjust enrichment. They benefited financially from money that wasn't theirs to spend. Can I get it back? Yes, you have several options. She pulled out a legal pad. Option 1, send a formal demand letter. Request full repayment within 30 days. If they comply, this ends here. They won't comply. Most people don't, which brings us to option 2, file a civil lawsuit for breach of fiduciary duty. We sue for the full amount, $42,900 plus interest. How long would that take? 6 to 8 months, maybe longer if they fight it. But Eliza, she looked at me directly. You have bank records, you have their signatures on the withdrawal slips, you have Instagram posts proving where the money went. This is one of the strongest cases I've seen. My heart was pounding. How much would it cost? I can work on contingency. I take a percentage of whatever we recover. You pay court filing fees up front, around $500, but nothing else unless we win. And if we lose? We won't lose, the evidence is too clear. I stared at the binder, at 18 months of theft, documented in black and white. There's one more thing you should know, Patricia said. Once you file this lawsuit, your relationship with your parents will likely be irreparably damaged. It's already damaged. It will be worse. They'll be angry, defensive. They may try to turn other family members against you. I don't care. She studied me for a long moment. Are you sure about this? I thought about the empty chairs at my graduation, the bounce house, the text message at 7:14 a.m. I thought about 4 years of struggling while they spent my inheritance on soccer camps. I'm sure. Patricia nodded. Then let's build your case. I'll draft the demand letter today. We'll send it certified mail. When they don't respond, we file the lawsuit. How long do I give them? 30 days is standard. Do it. She extended her hand. I shook it. One more thing, Eliza. This is going to get hard, emotionally. Are you prepared for that? I looked at the evidence binder, at my grandmother's trust account statement. I'm prepared. Over the next 3 weeks, I became a detective. Patricia's demand letter went out on a Tuesday. Certified mail, signature required. We gave my parents tea. 30 days to respond and repay the full amount. $42,900 plus 18 months of interest. I knew they wouldn't respond. But I had to try. While we waited, I gathered evidence. First, the original trust documents. I went back to Princeton Community Bank and requested every piece of paperwork associated with my grandmother's account. The account opening documents, the trust agreement, the beneficiary designation. Everything was there in black and white. Account purpose, education expenses for Eliza Margaret Chen. My grandmother's signature at the bottom. My parents' signatures as trustees. Their legal obligation, documented. Second, my student loan records. I logged into the National Student Loan Data System and printed everything. Every loan I'd taken out, every disbursement date, every interest rate. $63,000. I matched the loan dates against the trust withdrawal dates. The correlation was damning. October 2 years ago, I took out my first loan for $23,000. That same month, my parents withdrew $8,000 from my trust for Tyler's soccer registration. March last year, I took out another loan for $19,000. That same month, they withdrew $12,000 for Barcelona. I needed loans because they were stealing the money that should have covered my expenses. Third, Tyler's social media. I created a folder on my laptop labeled Evidence. Inside, I organized screenshots by date and expense. Tyler in Barcelona, June 14th, 2 years ago. Bank withdrawal, June 10th, $12,800. Tyler at Philadelphia tournament, September 2nd, 2 years ago. Bank withdrawal, August 28th, $2,100. Tyler with new braces free smile, December 18th, 18 months ago. Bank withdrawal, December 2nd, $6,200. Every expense, every withdrawal, every Instagram post. Cross-referenced, time-stamped, undeniable. Fourth, my work records. I contacted Princeton's employment office and requested my complete work history. Freshman year, library assistant, 15 hours per week. Sophomore year, library assistant, 20 hours per week. Junior year, library assistant plus campus tour guide, combined 30 hours per week. Senior year, same, but I'd reduced my hours spring semester because my grades were slipping. I printed my pay stubs, all of them. 4 years of minimum wage work, adding up to just over $27,000. I'd earned $27,000 working part-time while carrying a full course load at Princeton. And my parents had $47,000 sitting in a trust account that was supposed to be for my education. Fifth, email records. I searched my inbox for every communication with my parents during college. Found them. Sophomore year, October. Dad, I need to take out a student loan. $23,000. I'm really scared. His response, that's normal, Eliza. Everyone has loans. You'll be fine. Junior year, March. Mom, can you help with groceries this month? I'm completely out of money. Her response, we're tight right now, honey. Tyler's tournament is expensive. Senior year, November. I'm working 30 hours a week and my grades are suffering. I don't know how to do this. Dad's response, maybe drop a class. We all make sacrifices. I read those emails 3 times. They'd lied to me for 18 months. They had my money, they were spending my money, and they told me to take out loans instead. By the 3rd week, Patricia called. They didn't respond to the demand letter. I didn't think they would. Then we proceed with the lawsuit. I'm filing tomorrow morning. Case number will be assigned within 48 hours. What happens next? They'll be served with the complaint. They'll have 20 days to respond. Then we enter discovery. That's when we exchange evidence. I have all the evidence we need. I know you do. Eliza, this is going to move fast. Are you ready? I looked at my evidence folder. 473 files, bank statements, loan records, screenshots, emails, work stubs. 18 months of theft, documented beyond any reasonable doubt. I'm ready. One more thing. Once they're served, they'll know this is serious. They may try to contact you. They may apologize. They may threaten. Don't respond to anything. forward it all to me. I won't respond. Good, I'll call you when the papers are filed. She hung up. I sat at my desk, looking at the evidence that would destroy my relationship with my parents. But the relationship was already destroyed. They destroyed it when they chose Tyler's soccer over my education. When they chose a bounce house over my graduation. When they stole $42,000 from my future. I wasn't destroying anything. I was just making sure everyone else could see the truth. The lawsuit was filed on a Thursday. My parents were served the following Monday. I didn't hear from them for 6 days. Then, on Sunday morning, my mother texted me. Family dinner at Aunt Linda's this Saturday, 3 p.m. Everyone will be there. It would mean a lot if you came. I stared at that message for 10 minutes. Everyone will be there. My entire extended family. Aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents. They wanted me at a family gathering, 6 days after being served with a lawsuit. They were going to ambush me, try to pressure me into dropping the case, make me look like the villain in front of everyone. I called Priya. They want me at a family dinner. Are you going? Yes. Eliza. But not for the reason they think. I opened my evidence binder. I'm going to tell everyone exactly what they did. Priya was quiet for a moment. You're going to expose them. In front of the entire family. Aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone. That's nuclear. They stole $42,000 from me. They missed my graduation for a bounce house party. They're getting served legal papers, and their first response is to manipulate me at a family dinner. My voice was steady. They want everyone there? Fine. Everyone gets to hear the truth. What do you need from me? Be on standby. I'll text you when it's done. I'll be here. I called Patricia next. My parents invited me to a family dinner. I'm going to confront them there. Eliza, I don't advise. I'm not asking for permission. I'm telling you what's happening. Will it affect the lawsuit? She sighed. No, just don't threaten them. Stick to facts. If you have evidence with you, that's fine. Just keep it factual. I have everything. Bank statements, screenshots, timeline, all of it. Then go in there and tell your truth. But Eliza, once you do this, there's no going back. There was no going back the moment they stole from me. I spent the next 5 days preparing. I printed extra copies of everything. Bank statements, trust documents, Instagram screenshots, email exchanges, loan records. 14 copies, one for each adult family member who'd be there. I rehearsed what I'd say, in front of my mirror, in my car, walking around campus. For 18 months, my parents stole from my college fund. $42,000. While I took out loans and worked 30 hours a week, they spent my inheritance on my brother's soccer. Simple, clear, devastating. By Friday night, I was ready. Priya came over with takeout. We sat on my floor, surrounded by evidence packets. You don't have to do this, she said softly. You could just let the lawsuit play out. They invited me to this dinner to humiliate me, to make me back down. I know. So I'm going to show everyone exactly who they are. She squeezed my hand. Then do it right. Walk in there with your head up, tell the truth, and walk out knowing you gave them a chance to explain themselves to the people who matter. They won't be able to explain this. I know. Saturday morning, I woke up calm. I got dressed, black pants, white blouse, professional, serious. I loaded the evidence packets into my bag. I drove to Aunt Linda's house. And I prepared to burn every bridge I had left. The days leading up to Saturday moved in slow motion. My mother texted me twice. Wednesday, looking forward to seeing you Saturday. It's been too long. Friday, can you bring a dessert? Nothing fancy. She was acting like everything was normal, like she hadn't been served with a lawsuit 5 days ago. Like I didn't know exactly what she'd done. I didn't respond to either message. Saturday morning, I woke up at 7. The dinner wasn't until 3, but I couldn't sleep anymore. I made coffee, reviewed my evidence one last time, checked that all 14 packets were identical and complete. At noon, Priya texted, "You've got this, call me after." At 1, my mother texted again, "See you soon." 3 exclamation points, like this was a celebration. I left my apartment at 2:30. The drive to Aunt Linda's house took 15 minutes. I'd made the trip 100 times growing up. Birthday parties, Thanksgiving dinners, Christmas mornings. The house was a large colonial in a quiet neighborhood, trees lining the street. Kids, bikes in driveways, American flags on porches. Normal, suburban, safe. I parked down the street. Sat in my car for 5 minutes, gripping the steering wheel. This was it. Once I walked through that door and spoke the truth, everything would change. Family dinners, holidays, weddings, funerals. Every family event for the rest of my life would be divided into before and after this moment. I picked up my bag, felt the weight of the evidence inside. Then I got out of the car and walked to the house. The front door was open. I could hear voices inside, laughter, music playing softly. I walked in. The living room was full, 14 people, just like I'd expected. Aunt Linda and Uncle Mark, Aunt Diane, Uncle Robert, Grandma, 4 cousins ranging from age 16 to 28, Tyler looking Bordeaux. And the couch. And my parents, standing near the fireplace, holding glasses of wine, smiling. Eliza, my mother rushed over, tried to hug me. I stepped back. "Hi, Mom." Her smile faltered. "You okay, honey?" "I'm fine." Aunt Linda appeared with a tray of appetizers. "So glad you could make it. We never see you anymore." "I've been busy." "Of course, Princeton graduate now. We're all so proud." Were they? None of them had come to my graduation either. Dinner was at 3:30. Aunt Linda had made lasagna, salad, garlic bread. Everyone gathered around the long dining table. I sat at one end, my parents sat at the other. Conversation flowed around me: Tyler's soccer, Cousin Amy's new job, Uncle Robert's vacation plans. Normal family dinner talk. I ate quietly, answered questions when asked, waited. Dessert came, chocolate cake, someone made a joke, everyone laughed. My mother looked at me from across the table. Her expression was pointed, expectant. She thought I was going to apologize, back down, drop the lawsuit and pretend nothing had happened. I set down my fork. Reached for my bag. "I need to say something," I said. The table went quiet. 14 faces turned toward me. My father's expression shifted, guarded, nervous. He knew what was coming. "There's something everyone needs to know," I said, "about why I filed a lawsuit against Mom and Dad." My mother's face went pale. "Eliza, this isn't the time." "Actually, this is exactly the time." I pulled out the evidence packets, started passing them around the table. "Because you invited me here thinking I'd back down, that I'd be too embarrassed to tell everyone what you did." Aunt Linda took a packet, opened it, started reading. "But I'm not embarrassed," I continued. "You should be." I stand at the end of the table. 14 people stare at me, holding evidence packets, waiting. My mother's face is white, my father's jaw is clenched. 4 years ago, I say, my grandmother left me $47,000 for college. She put it in a trust account with Mom and Dad as trustees. Grandma's head snaps up. She's staring at my mother now. That money was specifically designated for my education. It said so in the trust documents. Page 2 of what you're holding. Rustling paper, people flipping pages. Aunt Linda finds it, her eyes widen. For 18 months during my time at Princeton, Mom and Dad withdrew money from that account. $42,900 total. Gasps around the table. They didn't spend it on my education. They spent it on Tyler's soccer. Tyler looks up from his phone. "What?" I pull out the timeline, hold it up. June, 2 years ago, $12,800 withdrawn. Memo, Barcelona soccer training camp. Tyler's Instagram post from Barcelona is on page 4. Cousin Amy flips to page 4, shows it to Uncle Mark. August same year, $2,100, Tyler's Philadelphia tournament, page 5. More flipping, more silence. December, 18 months ago, $6,200, orthodontics for Tyler. Page 7 has the before and after photos he posted. My mother stands up. "Eliza, you're taking this out of context." 18 months, I say, my voice rising. $42,000. Every single withdrawal is documented in those bank statements. Every expense is proven by Instagram posts. Every lie is proven by emails. I pull out my phone, read from the screen. October 2 years ago, I texted Dad, "I need to take out a student loan for $23,000. I'm scared." Dad's response, "That's normal. Everyone has loans." I look at my father. He won't meet my eyes. That same month, you withdrew $8,000 from my trust for Tyler's elite soccer registration. Aunt Linda stands. "Richard, is this true?" Dad doesn't answer. March last year, I continue. I called Mom. I had no money for groceries. I asked for help. She said, "We're tight this month. Tyler's tournament is expensive." I look at my mother. "You withdrew $12,000 that month for Barcelona while I was using the campus food pantry." Grandma is crying now. That money was for Eliza's education. "I know," I say. "Grandpa told me before he died. He said it would take care of college, that I wouldn't have to struggle." I pull out my loan documents. I graduated with $63,000 in debt. I worked 30 hours a week. I skipped meals. I cried in library bathrooms because I couldn't afford textbooks. My voice cracks. "And you had $47,000 sitting in an account with my name on it. You chose to spend it on soccer camps instead." Uncle Robert slams his hand on the table. "Jesus Christ, Richard." "It was family money," Dad starts. "It was Eliza's money." Grandma's voice is sharp. "The trust was in her name, for her education. You had no right." "Tyler needed opportunities." Mom tries. "Tyler needed opportunities." I laugh. It sounds broken. "I worked 3 jobs at Princeton." 3. "Tyler got private coaching and European soccer camps while I ate ramen and worked campus tour." I'm crying now. I don't care. "You missed my graduation for his birthday party. You chose a bounce house over watching me walk across the stage at Princeton." Silence. That photo went viral. 2 million people saw those empty chairs, saw my high school picture sitting there alone, and you know what you texted me. I pull up the message, read it out loud. "Can't make it today. Tyler's party is at noon. We already rented the bounce house. You understand, right?" Aunt Diane covers her mouth. "No congratulations, no apology, just you understand, right?" I look around the table, at faces frozen in shock and horror. "I don't understand. I've never understood. But now everyone else can see exactly what you did." My mother is sobbing. "We were trying to give Tyler opportunities you already had." "I have opportunities," I scream. "I had loans, I had jobs, I had sleepless nights and panic attacks and—" I stop, breathe. My lawyer calls it conversion of funds, breach of fiduciary duty. The lawsuit is for $42,900, plus interest, plus my legal fees. Dad finally speaks. "Eliza, we're your parents. You were my trustees. You had a legal obligation. You violated it for 18 months. We can talk about this." "No," I pick up my bag. "We're done talking. The court date is September 12th. You'll receive the details from your lawyer." Aunt Linda walks over to me, puts her hand on my arm. "I'm so sorry, honey. We had no idea." Uncle Mark stands. "Richard, you need to make this right." "She's suing us," Mom shouts. "Because you stole from her?" Grandma's voice cuts through the room. "From my granddaughter, with money your father left specifically for her." Tyler looks at me. "I didn't know." "I know," I say softly. "This isn't your fault." I walk toward the door. My mother follows. "Eliza, please, we're family." "Family doesn't do this." I turn to face her. "Family shows up. Family keeps promises. You did neither." I walk out. Get in my car. Sit in silence for 30 seconds. Then I call Priya. "It's done." That night, my phone exploded. Aunt Linda called 3 times. Uncle Mark texted, "We had no idea. I'm so sorry." Cousin Amy, "Holy shit, Eliza, I can't believe they did that to you." Grandma called at 9 p.m. "I'm testifying for you, whatever you need." My parents tried calling 17 times. I didn't answer. At midnight, my mother texted, "Please, we need to talk about this. You're destroying this family." I blocked both their numbers. By morning, Aunt Diane had posted something on Facebook. I didn't read it, but Priya told me it was supportive. The family was splitting, fast. Patricia called at 8 a.m. Your grandmother reached out. She wants to testify about your grandfather's intentions with that trust. She can do that. Absolutely. It strengthens our case significantly. Tyler texted me once, I'm sorry, I really didn't know. I believed him. But I didn't respond. The legal process took 4 months. 4 months of depositions and evidence submissions and lawyer calls. 4 months of my parents trying everything to make it go away. Week 1, they offered $10,000 to settle. Patricia laughed, counter with $60,000, full amount plus interest and legal fees. They refused. Week 3, their lawyer argued the trust wasn't legally binding because the language was vague. Patricia submitted the trust document. Page 2, paragraph 3, funds designated exclusively for Eliza Margaret Chen's post-secondary education expenses. Not vague. Week 6, they claimed Tyler's soccer qualified as family investment that would benefit everyone. Patricia submitted my loan documents, showing I'd received 0 family investment. The judge wasn't impressed. Week 8 mediation, court-ordered. We sat in a conference room, me, Patricia, my parents, their lawyer. My mother cried, we're your parents, how can you do this to us? You stole $42,000 from me, how could you do that to me? It was for the family. It was for me, grandpas will specify that. My father tried a different approach, we'll pay you back, just drop the lawsuit. How? Patricia asked. You've already refused 3 settlement offers. We need time. You had 18 months, you spent it on soccer camps. Mediation failed. Week 12, discovery phase. They had to submit their financial records, bank statements, tax returns, credit card bills. Patricia called me after reviewing them. Eliza, they're broke. What? They've been living beyond their means for years. Credit card debt, home equity line maxed out. They don't have $42,000. My stomach dropped, so I won't get anything. Not immediately, but the judge can order wage garnishment, monthly payments until the debt is satisfied. How long would that take? Why? Years, maybe 5, maybe more. I sat with that information for a long time. I could drop this, walk away, never see a dollar. Or I could see it through, make them pay, literally. I want to proceed, I told Patricia. You're sure? They made choices, they face consequences. Week 16, court date. The courtroom was smaller than I expected. Wood paneling, fluorescent lights, 20 people in the gallery. Grandma sat behind me, Aunt Linda, Uncle Mark, Priya. My parents sat across the aisle with their lawyer. Tyler wasn't there, I was glad. The judge was a woman in her 60s named Morrison. She de-reviewed all the evidence beforehand. This is a civil case regarding breach of fiduciary duty and conversion of funds, she began. Ms. Chen, your opening statement. Patricia stood, presented our case. Bank statements, trust documents, Instagram screenshots, email correspondence. 18 months of theft, laid out in 40 minutes. My parents' lawyer argued they'd acted in good faith, that the trust language was ambiguous, that they'd intended to repay me. Judge Morrison looked unimpressed. The trust document is explicit, she said. Education expenses for Eliza Margaret Chen. How does a soccer camp in Barcelona qualify? Their lawyer stammered. The family unit benefits when one child. The beneficiary received 0 benefit. She took out $63,000 in loans, while the trustees spent her inheritance on a sibling's recreation. Silence. Additionally, the judge continued, the defendant declined Parent Plus loans that would have covered the beneficiary's expenses. They had access to low-interest educational loans and chose not to use them. Instead, they converted the plaintiff's trust funds. My mother started crying. The judge ignored her. I'm ruling in favor of the plaintiff. The defendants are ordered to pay $63,300. This includes the original $42,900 converted, plus interest calculated at 6% annually, plus the plaintiff's legal fees. I stopped breathing. Payment structure will be determined based on the defendant's financial disclosure. I'm ordering monthly garnishment of 15% of their combined after-tax income until the debt is satisfied. She banged her gavel. Court is adjourned. Patricia squeezed my hand. I sat frozen. $63,000, awarded. Not the full amount of my loans, but more than they'd stolen. Outside the courtroom, Grandma hugged me. Your grandfather would be proud. My parents left through a side door. I didn't see them go. That night, Patricia called with the payment schedule. Based on their income, they'll pay $850 per month. For how long? 6 years and 2 months, total. 6 years of monthly payments. 6 years of remembering what they did every single month when that garnishment hit their paychecks. There's one more thing, Patricia said. Your grandmother filed separately. She's suing for emotional distress and violation of her late husband's wishes. Can she do that? She already did. Different case, but related. She's not asking for money. She's asking for a formal apology and acknowledgement of wrongdoing. Will she get it? Probably not the apology, but the court record stands. Everyone knows what they did now. The family split was immediate and permanent. Grandma's side, Team Eliza. Aunt Linda, Uncle Mark, 3 cousins, Thanksgiving at Aunt Linda's, Christmas at Grandma S. Mom's sister Diane, team parents, enablers, you're tearing this family apart. I didn't care. My father's law firm quietly asked him to resign. The partners didn't want the publicity. Mom lost her PTA position, stopped volunteering at Tyler's school. Tyler switched to public soccer league, cheaper, less prestigious. I felt bad for Tyler, but not bad enough to regret what I'd done. By the next holiday season, the new structure was set. I celebrated Thanksgiving with 9 people who actually cared about me. My parents celebrated with 2. Justice isn't always pretty, but it's necessary. It's been 3 years now. 3 years since I stood in Aunt Linda's dining room and told the truth. 3 years since the lawsuit, the judgment, the family split. People ask if I regret it. I don't. My life now barely resembles my life then. Financially, I'm stable for the first time in my adult life. The judgment money, $63,300, is being paid monthly. $850 every month automatically deposited. I've used it to pay down my student loans. The original balance of $63,000 is now $18,400. I'll be debt-free in 2 more years. My credit score went from 628 to 798. I bought a car last year. A used Honda, nothing fancy, but it's mine, paid in cash. I'm saving for a condo. 6-month emergency fund already built, something I never thought I'd have. Career-wise, I'm thriving. I'm a data analyst at a tech company in Boston. Started entry-level 2 years ago, promoted twice. Current salary, $78,000. My manager nominated me for an innovation award last quarter. I won. Princeton Alumni Magazine featured me in their Recent Graduates Making Impact section. I sent a copy to Grandma, not to my parents. Relationships have been rebuilt, carefully, selectively. Grandma and I talk every week, lunch twice a month. She's the family I needed all along. Aunt Linda hosts monthly dinners, Team Eliza gatherings, 9 of us now, including Priya. Uncle Mark helped me move into my apartment. Carried boxes up 3 flights of stairs and didn't ask about my parents once. I'm dating someone. His name is James. He's a teacher. His family shows up for things. Last month, they invited me to his sister's graduation. I went, I sat with them, I watched them cheer when her name was called. I cried in the bathroom afterward. But they were good tears. Emotionally, I'm healing. Therapy helped, 18 months of weekly sessions, learning to set boundaries, understanding that their choices weren't my fault. I still have hard days. Days when I see a father and daughter laughing together and feel that familiar ache. Days when I wonder what my life would have looked like if they'd just shown up. But those days are fewer now. Mostly, I feel free. My parents and I haven't spoken in 3 years. We won't speak again. They send emails sometimes. My mother's are apologetic, my father's are angry. I delete them without reading. $850 gets deposited every month. That's the only communication we need. Tyler and I text occasionally, birthday wishes, brief check-ins. He's 15 now, still plays soccer, but not at the elite level. He asked once if I'd ever forgive Mom and Dad. No, I said, but that's not your burden to carry. They're different now, quieter. Good. Do you miss them? I thought about that. I miss who I thought they were, but they were never really those people. He didn't respond. I don't know what he thinks of all this. Maybe someday we'll talk about it properly. But not yet. The viral photo still circulates sometimes. 2 million views became 5 million, 7 million. People recognize me occasionally. Aren't you the Princeton girl with the empty chairs? Usually I say no. Sometimes I say yes. Last month, someone asked if my parents ever apologized. No, I said, but the court ordered them to pay me $63,000. That's better than an apology. Because apologies are just words. Consequences are justice. I'm 25 now, living in Boston, working a job I love, building a life that's entirely mine. No one steals from me anymore. No one dismisses my achievements. No one tells me to understand, while they prioritize someone else. I placed my high school photo on those empty chairs 3 years ago. Now my Princeton diploma hangs in my apartment, next to a photo from Thanksgiving last year. 9 people who chose to show up. That's my family now. And I'm never looking back. The lawsuit ends in 3 more years, 74 more payments of $850. Then the financial connection is severed completely. But honestly, it's already severed. They made their choices. I made mine. And I'm finally free. If you've been betrayed by the people who should have supported your achievements, you're not alone. Family isn't about blood, it's about who shows up. Sometimes the people who hurt you most are the ones who were supposed to protect you. Sometimes the only way forward is to cut them out completely. And sometimes, justice doesn't look like reconciliation. It looks like boundaries, legal consequences, a life rebuilt without them. Your achievements matter, your struggles matter, you matter. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise. This is Achiever Betrayed. If this story resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, choosing yourself isn't selfish, it's survival. Thank you for listening.